The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
And right now you're looking at live images of Capitol Hill. It's the final hour. The government will be open for business. How long will this partial shutdown last? And how will your everyday life be impacted? Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. The Senate has called it a night after rejecting an extension plan for funding. This will be the first government shutdown in nearly 7 years, and it can impact many different areas. About 750,000 federal workers would be furloughed. Medicare and Medicaid payments would continue, but with potential delays. Meantime, most Department of Homeland Security employees would continue to work. Joining us to talk about it, University of Houston downtown professor Dr. David Branham and political Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. Glad to have you both here on The Factor Uncensored. Now, once again, let's get to what will affect the people who are watching right now. Why should you care? We had a short list there, but there's much more. What's on that list?
There's a lot of things on the list that are potential. But right now, I think the biggest problem are the federal employees who are getting furloughed. Mm-hmm. They're not going to have a job and get a check. The other employees, including the military, the security, police, they will continue to work without a check. So those families won't have income coming in while they're actually working. And the same is true for the airports. Transportation at first should be fine because all the employees will still be there. The air traffic controllers will be there. The TSA will be there. They will be fine and they will be in there, but they're not going to get paid. So after that first month, traditionally there's a lot of sick outs going on, mm-hmm. and then you start seeing delays. So the longer it goes, the worse it gets. So that was the biggest problem in the last shutdown. Was in Miami they actually had to shut down an entire terminal because of the sick out from the employees who weren't getting paid and decided, look, I can't go to work if I'm not getting paid.
All right, Dr. von Biedenfeld, your thoughts about where we are headed now as a country with no agreement between the U.S. Senate, both sides there, Congress and Democrats and Republicans. What's next for us?
Yeah, I mean, and I won't delve into the pragmatic reality that we've seen Democratic leadership from Schumer and predecessors, Pelosi, when she was even Speaker, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But at the end of the day, this is a further impetus for the president and his administration to further the mission of DOGE and say, if these positions aren't needed now, watch how you're living. We don't need them ever again. And you're fired. So we're going to continue this apprentice culture through this. So I think the challenge becomes people not seeing it in their daily lives. I mean, there are a number of stand-up comics who mention the idea of basically doors falling off Boeings and Airbuses and other problems, and we still just get on the plane, right? We just put on our Crocs, we get on the plane. It doesn't matter that planes are falling in the sky because we're just going to continue as business as usual until it impacts us directly. So I think the biggest challenge is going to be where we see the food impact safety, the Upton Sinclair mentality come back into play with the jungle, food safety, the food inspections, labor inspections, et cetera, all those things diminishing, and it doesn't become a problem until it becomes a problem for us. But again, we have major ports here, so it's not just Long Beach. Port of Houston, Port Freeport, major institutions for influxes of goods and shipments into the country. What is TSA going to do with those things? And so I think you're not going to see it today, but in the next week, if they are not able to resolve this, you're going to see this quite pronounced.
And Dr. Branham, who will take the blame here, Republicans or Democrats?
Well, I think both sides are thinking the other side will take the blame. Mm-hmm. I think Donald Trump...
From your perspective, who do you see is at blame here? The holdout for the Democrats is health care. They want reinstatement of health care benefits. I think the American public would agree with that for those who may be affected by that.
Well, if you're on the Affordable Care Act, I mean, your payment per month may go up by 400%. without those subsidies. Mm-hmm. And these are people that are paying for their insurance. It's not like Medicaid. They're buying insurance for their families. But those subsidies take care of a lot of that. So that's going to make a big difference to those families and the constituents of the Democrats who have those families. They are going to be blaming Donald Trump. As far as Donald Trump goes, though, you've already seen that he has a distaste for federal workers as it is. He thinks he's going to gain votes out of this. That's the reason why I'm not really optimistic about this ending soon. I think Donald Trump is ready to hold out, and I think Chuck Schumer is ready to hold out. And it's going to go on for a while. And if it goes on for a while, the longer it goes, the worse it's going to be for everyone. There's going to be less food inspection. All of a sudden, supplies for SNAP are going to start dwindling away. People aren't going to get paid for long periods of time. So, as Dr. Von Biedenfeld was talking about, at first, it's probably not going to affect so much, but in the long run, it's going to have a big effect on just about everybody in the country.
That trickled down. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on The Fact.